Yesterday I finished working on the project I named Pronunciation Trainer, and I failed it. And when trying to figure out why and what to do next, one of the things I realized was that I need to know Linux better and know Git better. So how I wanted to deal with that was start watching the missing semester course, and that's what I did today in the evening. I started watching the first lecture, watched it like halfway through, and then this morning I finished it. It was quite exciting working on the homework, and then I started, I quite liked it. I started watching the second lecture. That didn't go as well for now. The guy's accent is way too thick for me, maybe. Makes it harder to watch. And also the topic is not as important to me, but but maybe that's not right, because I can already think of one way to apply that. Shell scripting is like when I want to have a training script and I want to run it with different configs. And if I want to run it with different configs, that would be a good way, like having a shell script. So yeah, I'm gonna see how it goes tomorrow and continue watching the course. So today I finished watching the second lecture on shell tools and scripting. I think it would be more helpful for me if I would have had more experience working in Linux, because for most of these things I'm not yet sure. Like, I can't imagine myself using them. There's one thing I like, the package TLDR, too long didn't read. That one is nice because the manuals are too long usually. And then that kind of encouraged me to start setting up my own Linux system, to start working on Python projects. So yeah, I installed Conda and Mamba on my Windows subsystem for Linux, and installed PyTorch there. The main thing and the main problem I have that I'm trying to find a solution for is that when I'm installing through pip, there's usually some problems with Torch and Torch audio, like they're not being installed correctly. I get CPU versions, so but when I install with Conda, it's all good. So I'm trying to find a way to install the dependencies of packages that aren't available through Conda, that I have to install through pip. Yeah, right now, the only thing I think I could do is just manually look up the requirements and manually install them through Conda, and then install the library I need through pip. Yeah, so today I was busy making a Gradio app for speech recognition in minority languages of Russia, like Tatar, Bashkir, Chuvash, Erzya, and it's for the Gradio Blocks party thing. It's the new Blocks feature is nice in that it allows you to do more things with Gradio, but the things I did, like making it possible to have the choice between English and Russian for the interface language, that's kind of really finicky to implement. And then, like, for some languages I had the language model, and for Bashkir, and for other languages I didn't have it, so I wanted to have like the option of choosing between using the language model and not using it, only show up when you choose Bashkir, and that kind of doesn't work really well. Like, for example, if you switch, and you don't have to switch really fast, it's like maybe 3 seconds. It takes like 5 seconds for the interface to update, and if you switch languages before that, the thing kind of breaks. And then yeah, I also added the it not only gives you the transcription, it also gives you the link. Before that, I wanted to use the API of Yandex Translate, but what I did now is it just gives you the link, and if you open it, you'll have the translation accordingly into either Russian or English, depending on the language you chose for the interface. Yeah. I was thinking before that, like, why did I even make this thing? I want to train some ASR models, maybe for some languages we have here in Russia, and I realized that some of them already have models available that were trained in the previous like thingy by Hugging Face, where they trained ASR models. So I wanted to use these to make an app that would the other like the natives of these languages could check and tell if they work well or what doesn't work well, and I wanted to like spread the news about this new thing in like communities, but I'm not really so sure I'm gonna do that because I don't know, just kind of not that interested. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yesterday I did two of the exercises to the second lecture, but then I kind of decided to skip ahead because I'm not sure I really needed as much to. I don't really need to work on shell scripting all that much, and I have to continue working on the project. On the Japanese pitch project soon enough, so I kind of want to skip ahead, watch the lecture about Git, and some other lectures. So I also almost finished watching the lecture on Vim. I really liked Vim. I would really want to try using it some more. The only problem, of course, is that like most of the stuff I do in notebooks, and I like that environment as well, because usually when I wrote some scripts in Python, I would always have to check if it's working correctly, and it's really easy to do that in Jupyter Notebook. So I'm still kind of confused about that. What I should do. I heard that VS Code has support for Vim bindings for both Vim bindings and notebooks. So maybe I should just go with it and try Vim and like try to get into using Vim, right? Yeah. But Vim is really exciting. The way you can do so much stuff with so many key presses, it's really cool. So I finished watching the lecture in Vim. It's a really cool a way to edit. It's a really cool style of a text editor. And I got halfway through the Vim tutor, but then I kind of stopped because I feel like I just need to do some more of my usual tasks in a text editor and get to do the basics a bit more, and then I think I could re-scroll through the notes to the lecture, and those will be really useful. But for now, I think the main thing I want to do is to install VS Code and configure it to interact well with my WSL, and then I just want to move on to the lectures that talk about the things that I actually came to this course to learn, which is getting more comfortable with Linux and Git. So then I started watching the next lecture and watched like most of it, even though I don't really think I need it right now. It's a useful thing to do, and maybe I'll go with it later, but for now, like, I already know regex. I like regex. I've used regex, and for all these other commands in Linux that let you do data wrangling, I think those would be really useful for me. But right now, I just want to get myself in shape to work on some more urgent and also satisfying projects. So I skipped ahead to the next lecture, and that one I feel like will be really useful in getting me more comfortable about Linux and understanding better the way it works, how I can terminate processes and all of that. That seems really nice. And working through SSH on a server, I really need to learn to do that as well if I want to continue with my ML projects. Yeah, and then Git, I hope this will help me, because so far Git has been kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. So today I finished watching the video on command line environment. I think it's useful once again, but it's not as useful for me right now when I don't have a lot of experience with Linux generally. Like, I played around with Tmux a bit, and I can see maybe that it could be useful, but right now, like, I haven't even SSH'd to any server yet. I need to try that. And when I tried doing the exercises to the lecture, I was just kind of lost. Like, some of them I could do, some of them I didn't really even understand what was needed. So I started watching the lecture in Git, the one that is really important to me right now, and I like it. I really like. At first, it was kind of boring, because like halfway through it was kind of boring because, like, yeah, I know you could commit, git add, then you could commit, but like when he showed, the lecturer showed branching, and then he successfully merged these two branches, and the way to show it as a graph, that was really satisfying, because when I tried merging anything, it was a complete disaster. Yeah, so that's really cool. I've also set up the VS Code. So far it seems cool. I haven't really tried it yet, but I like how it's integrated with WSL, and yeah, I installed the Vim extension for it. Seems nice that I can learn my way through the bindings, get used to them, because they seem useful. Yeah. Next thing I need to do is... Oh, I also played around with Git just a little bit. I haven't merged any branches, but just to see how, yeah, you can do git log dash graph and dash graph dash all, and then I created like some little changes. It seems nice, yeah. I checked that it works the way I would expect it to. Yeah, the next thing I need to do is to try installing like the libraries I need for the pitch accent classification project. Like, that would be Fast Audio and like Labrosa. That one's is hard. Was hard for me. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. And then, yeah, I want to start like writing a full script to check like different hyperparameters, to add weights and biases logging to it, to have like graphs that are useful and cool for my coursework. I also want to set up the thing where you like give your predictions on, like, where in weights and biases you would have like actual audio files, and then the predictions your model gives to them. Yeah, I'm just feeling like Sometimes when I was following these exercises, I kind of felt like I'm I miss I miss working on my own project where I'm highly motivated. When you're just following a course, it's not as exciting really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that definitely. Today I finished watching the lecture on Git, and I was hoping to work on the pitch accent classification project next, but I decided to Google who created Git, found out that it was Linus Torvalds. Kind of got distracted watching, first reading an interview with him, then watching his talk at Google about Git, then watching an interview with him at TED, and I was kind of about to give up and just watch some YouTube because I was kind of tired, but decided to maybe give it a try, see how it goes. And I installed Fast Audio on my WSL, checked that it works, configured VS Code to work with it properly, found out that it works, and then I started adapting code from my blog post about Japanese pitch accent. I took that and the training script for ImageNet by FastAI, and I wanted to get like one Python file that gets the data, makes the model, makes the learner, starts training, logs it all into weights and biases. I spent a lot of time on getting the data. Like right now I have it uploaded to GitLab, and before that I could just straight download it from GitLab. I was trying to figure out how I do that. Right now didn't find a way, so I had to do it through Git, running like os .system and the command git clone blah blah blah. Then I also like figured I had to work on unpacking, extracting the files from the tar, and I got that set up properly. I also added the things you can change, and the main thing I'm working on right now is like fancy logging into weights and biases. I want to get a table with the audio, the correct label, maybe also the spectrogram that my DLs create, and then what does the model predict, what probabilities it gives. I also made a different simple Python script that would take a config line from a config file, take all the config lines and loop with a for loop, run like separate experiments that would log everything into weights and biases. Yeah, I was hoping to start running one this night, but I'm not getting a runtime from SageMaker Studio Lab, so maybe this is not gonna happen. Oh, I also, at first I had my Visual Studio Code set up to work with Vim bindings, but I just really got annoyed. Like, I think specifically at the fact that copying and pasting is so unpredictable, felt so unpredictable for me. Like, if you copy and then you can paste into the editor, it's not guaranteed that you can also paste into your browser, I think. And then you have to pay attention to what mode you're in, so like different commands for copying and pasting in these, and then also cutting. I realized that it turns out deleting in Vim is like cutting. Yeah, so I turned that off. I'm hoping I will turn it on tomorrow, but I'm not actually so sure.